Did you know that the first spark of human intelligence wasn't fire? It was a stone, cold, ordinary, forgotten by time, until one creature saw more than what it was. 2.5 million years ago, in the sun-baked plains of Africa, a pair of hands reached down, and humanity began. That being was Homo habilis, the handy man, the first maker of tools and the first to imagine what could be. Homo habilis was unlike anything before it. For millions of years, life on Earth had survived through instinct: hunt, eat, run, repeat. But this species did something extraordinary. It didn't just react to the world, it shaped it. By striking one stone against another, Homo habilis created the first blade, sharp, deliberate, and revolutionary. With that single act, the mind broke free from nature's rules. Those first tools were simple, yet powerful. A hammerstone to break bones, a flake to cut flesh, a scraper to clean hides, each one born from observation, patience, and precision. Every spark of rock on rock carried the rhythm of discovery. These were not random acts of survival. They were the first experiments in design. Each tool, a memory of a thought, recorded in stone. Inside their skulls, something even greater was happening. The brain of Homo habilis had grown to almost 600 cubic centimeters, nearly half again the size of their ancestors. That extra space wasn't just mass, it was imagination. It allowed them to see not only what was, but what could be. When they looked at a rock, they didn't see a rock. They saw a blade, a weapon, a future. The mind had begun to dream. For the first time, a creature could plan before acting. It could imagine tomorrow. That was the true revolution. Thought before action. Every invention that came after, the fire, the wheel, the ship, the microchip, began with that same mental leap. The moment Homo habilis struck two stones together, the future of every civilization was set in motion. They weren't hunters in the way we imagine predators. They didn't have claws, speed, or brute strength. But they had something stronger: curiosity. They watched lions and hyenas finish their feasts, and when the danger passed, they approached. With their new stone tools, they cracked open bones and reached the rich marrow within, fuel for their growing brains. From that nourishment came evolution itself. Nature began to reward intelligence over power. Knowledge, however, is fragile if it cannot be shared. And so another miracle unfolded. They began to teach, not with words, but with gestures, mimicry, and the patient rhythm of demonstration. An elder striking a stone, a child watching, learning, repeating. In that exchange, the first classroom of humanity was born. The transfer of knowledge became a survival tool. Across the Great Rift Valley, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, the evidence still rests beneath the soil. Volcanoes, shifting earth, and time itself preserved their bones and their tools. This land was both cradle and forge. The pressures of a changing climate, of drought and migration, forced adaptation. Only those who could think differently survived. And so, out of struggle, creativity was born. With every generation, Homo habilis refined their craft. Stone shapes began to repeat, patterns began to emerge. A flake here, a hammer there, it wasn't just technology anymore, it was tradition. Groups shared similar techniques, passing down their preferred styles of craftsmanship. This was the first whisper of culture, identity carved into rock. Before art, before language, before writing, there was the design of the hand. From Homo habilis would come Homo erectus, stronger, taller, the first to control fire, the first to walk beyond Africa. But it was Homo habilis who laid the path. Every spark of progress, every dream of reaching further, began in those ancient minds. Without the handy man, there would be no tool, no thought, no civilization. He was the bridge between animal and human, between reaction and reflection. Look at your hands. The same hands that type, paint, build, and create. They are the descendants of that first gesture, the one that lifted a stone from the dust and gave it purpose. Every invention, from the spear to the satellite, is a continuation of that moment. The stone was the first word in the language of creation, and even now, millions of years later, we are still finishing the sentence. Because the spark that Homo habilis lit, the urge to imagine, to shape, to evolve, never died. It burns quietly in every human act of wonder, every discovery, every dream that refuses to fade. It is the hand of time itself, still reaching forward.